What's up, you guys? It is me, Mr. Locker Room, here with a special Women's Worth edition with you all. We have our family edition. So, this is something that's dear and near to my heart. So, I got some of my peeps here, some of my kinfolk on the show. So, we're going to be talking about some things that deal with the family. But before we get into all of the title, I want to introduce you all to Miss Mika and Kim. So, why don't y'all go ahead? We'll start with Miss Mika. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the
Okay.
folks?
Hi, I'm Mika. I am a cousin and I am uh one of the oldest cousins, pretty much. Let's say that. Not the oldest, but one of the oldest. And I think this is a good topic for us to have. And I'm just looking forward to connecting more with my cousin. Well, he's my cousin, but he's also my brother, my god brother. So
Yeah. Yeah,
Very
that's right.
cool.
Okay, Kim.
All right. Hello, 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 everyone. I am Mr. Locker Room's oldest cousin. So I am the firstborn. I am Kim. Glad to be here. Glad to be a part of this wonderful topic. I think it's much needed. And I'm glad to be a part because I plan on spinning off my own podcast soon. So this is giving me a feel of what it is that I've actually been wanting to do for quite some time. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Josh, for having us on.
Of course, of course, of course. And you all may say, well, we have the oldest, and then one of the oldest. Well, I'm the youngest, right? I am the
Mm.
youngest
He's a
out of
baby.
yeah, I'm the youngest out of the grandchildren. There's nine of us, right? So I'm the youngest, right? So black don't crack, right?
right, right.
So let's
That's
dive
right.
right into it. And like I told them earlier, like we're just about to get into it. So if you got your feelings in your pocket, you might want to go put it on the shelf and get yourself a
Yeah.
mocha latte, maybe an Irish coffee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Irish coffee with a little whiskey inside there. We're about to have a wonderful, wonderful chat because today's special episode is entitled, Family Ties,
Mhm.
Trust, Healing, and Legacy.
Yeah.
And when you think about those things, what comes to mind when you hear that family ties, trust, healing, and legacy, y'all?
What comes to mind for me is um togetherness.
Okay.
That all for me that ties into togetherness. Because when you're a family, you're supposed to be together. You're one unit. You're supposed to be on one accord. So
Mm.
for me, what comes to mind is togetherness, unity.
Okay.
What comes
Okay.
to mind for me is connection,
Mm.
having a real connection and keeping that connection. Basically, no matter what you're going through, you still have that connection because when you have that connection, it's not somebody judging you because, oh, you lost your job or, oh, you don't have this amount
Mm.
of money. It's still that strong connection.
Yeah, and for those who may not understand, it's like today we're talking about family, not just our family, but family in
Mhm.
general,
Hmm.
and not just immediate either. This is like cousins,
Mhm.
extended cousins, or even family's not
Yeah.
always blood, right?
Right.
Family is not always blood because I have
Correct. That's true.
I have brothers and sisters from other mothers, right?
Yes, me too.
Across the world. And so
Hmm.
how we navigate trust in that family setting and healing and values across generations, not just
Mhm.
immediate, right? Because how we deal with our families today impacts what the family looks like tomorrow and the next generation, because that's what we're passing on is this is how you do
Right.
family, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
let's dive right into our first segment. Oh my goodness, the weight of family legacy, right? Wow, 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 wow. And for me it's a little different because I am the youngest, but I'm also the
Mhm.
Hmm.
the second grandson, right? And it's there's my older
Hmm.
brother,
Right.
and then there's me.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So when it
Right.
And
comes
then all
to
girls.
yeah, for our generation in the family, um, there's only two males. But then we have the second generation after that where there's more males. So for me, it's like if my brother don't do it, you know,
Hmm.
carry on that legacy. But so I feel a little pressure, right?
Mhm.
But let me ask you all this question. When you hear the word family, what comes up first? Comfort, pressure, or both?
I would say both.
Uh, yeah, I would say
I would
both.
say both.
If you're basing
Ooh.
off of past tense as far as how when grandma was around
Mm,
versus now.
mhm.
So I would have to say both.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, so what does that define? Okay, let's define comfort and let's define pressure because it's like
Okay.
we all might have a different connotation of what that is when it comes to the two words, right? So who wants to go first?
I'll go
I
first.
can go first.
So
Oh,
come.
go ahead, go
It must
ahead.
be a delay on my end. It don't matter. Go ahead, Mika.
Oh,
Okay. So comfort for me, I think it would be the difference between the individual that you're dealing with at that time and as far as family is concerned. So like for example, my sister, because for all that don't know, Amika is my sister. So for me, there's comfort there because that's my sister. We
Mm,
talk on a daily basis. We see each other on a daily basis. So I'm more comfortable when it comes to sharing information or saying things. Now, let's say, for example, there's a cousin or a relative that I don't speak to as often. I may find a little pressure there because I may not be as willing to share as much information with them as I would be to those family members that I talk to on a daily basis, if that makes sense.
it does. It does. Yeah, you touched on something there, but I'm gonna let Miss Mika respond too before I say something.
I would say as far as the connection side of it, it's more so when you been raised as far as how we were all raised tight knit when we were growing up, we were always at somebody's house together.
Mm,
So that connection was built based off of how our grandmother was, how our aunties were, as far as how grandma raised them, as far as they were always together. So we always were together, whether it was gathering at somebody's house, we were together. When we got older and when grandma passed, that's the pressure because it
mm,
seemed like when grandma passed, the pressure came where everybody went off in their own directions and kind of just forgot about that family connection that we
mm,
was built off of. So that's the pressure for me. Sometimes it's kind of like we was so close knit, and now it's a lot of us that's kind of distant.
mm,
And then when we try to get back together, you have some that's kind of looking at you like you're beneath them, or you can't do this because how she get to do that or how he get to do that. So it's kind of like the pressure part of that as far as for me now with grandma being gone, because how when she was here, we always got together no matter what, doing something. We had the Christmas Eve parties at Aunt Fat house. We had grandma at her house. It was always we were doing something. Your mom's house, Aunt Pam house. We always went over there. It was always some type of togetherness where everybody came. Now, if you have something, you really don't see nobody.
mm.
So it's the pressure and the connection for me.
Yeah, that is so true too. When Kim was talking about the comfort because you
Mhm,
see that person daily, right? And so the ease of
Mhm.
communication is there because it's like I see you every day, or I see you so consistent
Mhm.
that I don't have to have guards up because you see the good, the bad, the ugly, the resolved, the
mhm,
unresolved. You see the decision making process. You see where you what you doing
mhm.
today. That is seen,
Right.
and when a person feels seen, the guards don't have to be up because it's like you've seen me in
Right.
all of this. I can be myself.
Mhm,
Yeah.
And in a family setting, I know too, especially as, and this is something I know some of the viewers and the audience can relate to, is as you get older, you might not be geographically centered at the same places. I know for me, there was
Mhm.
right.
a long period where I was away, right?
Mhm,
And that was partly me escaping because, growing up in the house, that house wasn't always fun to be in. And
Mm-hmm.
But that was things that I needed to face as far as like being healed from what I experienced growing up in my
Right.
childhood. But I had to do the work to do that. And
Mhm.
and doing the work allowed me to see with unfiltered eyes. So where I can be objective, be unbiased, and see the truth behind, capacities versus wants. Like there was things I
Right.
wanted that people didn't have the capacity to do, right? And I had to understand that because
Mm-hmm.
all of us have a faith-based foundation where
Mhm.
we have God as that centered. And so that time that I spent in that looking at the healing that needed to take place in myself, I was able to see things from God's perspective. Now, a lot of people may be watching this, they may not have that. We're not trying to preach to you, but this is
Right.
our principle thing. So hear the principle in what we're saying, right? Healing needs to happen regardless if you believe in God or not, right? You can't
Right.
go through life with traumatic
Correct.
expressions
Yes.
and things that are dictating to you how you see filters and how possibly perceptions get projected outward,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
right? So for me, the
Right.
comfort, I can so understand, Kim, when you're talking about comfort, because I lived a lot of years isolated from the family.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that kept me from sharing a lot of different things. And I can own the fact that I shared when things were good, right? Not so much
Mhm.
Yeah.
when things were bad, because I
Mhm.
had a lot of bad times, right?
Mhm.
But my
Mm-hmm.
friends heard that because they were with me every day. They saw it, they
Mhm.
were in that.
Right.
And for me, going back to and reflecting what you said, Miss Mika, with the pressure, is I am now embracing that pressure by making the effort to be more around, to be more
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
open, diving more into the group chats, diving more into showing up when I can
Mhm.
and doing what I can when I am in town, because I'm still away. But away doesn't mean
Yeah.
that I have to be
Mhm.
distant,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's
And
true.
Right.
I think that might
Yeah.
resonate too. It's like awayness does not mean distance. I don't have to be
Correct.
Mhm.
distant, even though I'm geographically separated.
Because you have so
Right.
many things that can connect you together, such as this platform here. You have Zoom, you have the FaceTime. It's so many things that could connect a family together, even if you're not in the same room, you're still in the
Mhm.
same room, so to
Come
speak,
on.
even by using these platforms. So I just think for me personally, it just depends on the individual and if they really want it or not. And sometimes you just get to that point where you've tried so much
Mm,
to put it back together. And if they don't want it, you just have to put your hands up, as bad as it may hurt, and say, you know what? I gotta walk away from it and let
mm,
God be God and do what He's gonna do if it's His will to fix it, and just let it
mm.
go.
Right.
That oof, that that part right there, like if the individual doesn't want it, but what most people don't realize is that we still there. I don't want to say wrestle, is that
Hmm.
Mhm.
it's not just the acceptance, is because we still feel when that desire, I want to say, to
Mhm.
still
Hmm.
connect is there, because it don't just go away
Mhm.
because the person don't want it.
Right.
Hmm.
It doesn't.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's a fear of judgment? Do you think that people stay away because they don't want to be judged? Or, I mean, it has to be something.
Mm. That
It
you
has to be something. What
that's
is
that
it?
that is a good question, because it's like, for example, I'm dealing with something now. Or am I dealing? It's like I'm in a situation now, an area of opportunity, if you will, an
Mhm.
unfolding that leads to a building
Hmm.
in this journey with some
Mhm.
people around me,
Hmm.
Mhm.
friends that y'all know if I'm connecting, I'm gonna connect. Right.
Right.
I'm gonna, if I'm in,
Hmm.
I'm in. If I'm out, I'm out. And so when I
Mhm.
say I'm in, I'm in. So it's like I I'm wanting to connect with them, and I'm getting all of this lip service, right? About, yeah, I got
Mhm.
you, we're buddies, we're boys,
Hmm.
and all this stuff like that. But the actions don't align with the words.
Okay.
The actions don't align. You say this, but your actions, your body language, and your action language is telling me something else. So now what you said, Kim, is I'm making effort. I'm putting forth. I'm pouring out.
Yeah.
And that is draining and it is
Mm-hmm.
exhausting and it is conflicting because now I have to take a step
Yeah.
back and say, am I really walking in my worth? Am I really
Mm-hmm.
walking in my intrinsic
Hmm.
value that I know comes with my identity that nobody can take away and allowing
Right.
this person to devalue who I am because they don't know
Mm.
truly who they want to be?
Right.
And that's
Mm,
painful
that's
because
good.
now I have to make a decision that I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to have to make. Either I'm going to stand in my value of who I am and pull
Hmm.
back and let love come in so that they can figure that out without
Mm-hmm.
draining me and stuff because I still have to be a good steward at the end of the day.
Right.
I have to steward that love. I have to steward
Hmm.
the emotions. I have to steward the energy. I have to steward the resources. I have to steward the time because I'm building and doing what I'm in my purpose.
Yeah.
So now it's
Hmm.
like, I want to love this person and connect with this person. They say it, but they aren't settling in the commitment, the resolve, and the mutual, the reciprocity of that effort.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't carry a
Hmm.
two-way street with one back,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
So when you
Sure.
talk
Mm-hmm.
about they have to want it, that hit.
Hmm. Hmm. They have to
That's
want it.
true.
Can't force it.
Yeah. So it's
Can't
like,
force it. If they don't want it, you can try, but hey, if they
You can
don't want it,
say
what are you
all
gonna
day
do?
long you
mm,
want it, but you got to take that action, that step.
yeah, and it's like because of the want to connect doesn't go away immediately, right? For
Right.
me, it's
Hmm.
like I have to like if I'm putting that boundary in, I can't jump back and forth over that line. It's like it's a
Mm-hmm.
boundary for a reason, and
Right.
that's where the you start to feel the pain, right? Of the
Mm-hmm.
pain of
Hmm.
wanting to connect, right? Because when you connect in, it's like it's a flow. But when you aren't, it's
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
you're the part of your soul is not being satisfied with what that connection could have brought.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Even now, just thinking about the possibility of not having it, it's like right here, I feel it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and it's like, how do you, how do I have had people ask me, so what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? How do you navigate that? Let me ask you this question: have you all had to navigate that, and like, what did you do?
That's funny you say that because I'm kind of in a little situation like that
Okay, just a little
where
bit.
it was more so you constantly hearing the okay, I'm gonna this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna this, I'm gonna show up. But it's constantly like, okay, wait a minute. I done gave several opportunities for this. I'm gonna by taking your word.
Hmm.
Now it's at the point where you're drained, and it's like you got to put yourself first, your
Mm-hmm.
happiness first, you as who you are, your values, your morals. So I think more so with me, I had to step back and really get strict with it.
Ooh.
It wasn't no more okay. That text message come, I'm gonna do better, or you come over and oh, and it's still the same. No, you
Yeah.
can stay at home. I'll text you here and there, or I won't respond to your text messages because at this point, I'm putting me first
Mm,
because I matter.
Hmm.
I'm listening to your words, and I done gave you so many opportunities by listening to your words, giving you that opportunity to step up with the action. So now you got to look at the fact, okay, it's about me too.
mm,
So now I got to
Hmm.
put myself in the steps first. So basically just putting that when you say boundaries, it's some strict boundaries.
mm.
It's about me
Hmm.
and making sure I'm doing what I need to do because I'm putting my actions in. Where's yours? I
Come
can't
on,
go off words.
come on, come
Yeah,
on.
that's true.
Words, just words, literally.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah,
literally
that's
dealing with
true.
that, and it's now it's sad that when a person really see outside of the situation, like I put in so many different restrictions now, and a person really seeing like, wow, I don't have this person in my life like
They're
I had that
serious.
person in my life.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
now you want to look and you like, well, dang, it's still strict. I gotta be strict with it because
Can't change
you
it. Yeah.
play. It's like you playing, and it's not time to play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not, And then how am I supposed to take a person serious if it's constantly words, but they're not coming up with
Hmm.
standing on the words? It's not
Mm-hmm.
solid. So yeah,
They
Yeah.
ain't
that's
standing on
the
business.
definitely.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
Can,
tell people all the time, words mean nothing to me. You got to
mm,
show me
Mhm.
actions. If I ain't getting no actions
Yeah.
about it, I don't even want to hear it.
Kim, you was gonna say
What the
something.
Bible tells you, faith without works is dead.
Come on, but yes, yes, and that is. Go
So
ahead.
we
Go
got
ahead.
to work faith. You got to work that too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the biggest issue for me has
Mm,
been, and not just this recently, even not in just this family, but with my dad passing
Mhm.
away a few weeks ago. I think it's a
Mhm.
typical saying that they say at every funeral. Somebody has to get up. I think it's a spokesperson that they pay to get up and say, as a family,
Yeah.
we got to do better. We got to start spending more time with each other. We got to start
Hmm.
doing this. We got to start doing that. And you hear it, and it probably lasts 2 days. And then it's
mm-hmm.
back to you might have a 10-year span, a
Yep.
15-year span before somebody else passes away. And you back to that same
Hmm.
line. And that
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm-hmm.
bothers me to no end. But for me personally, it's like
Hmm.
I think by me being the oldest, I feel more led to reach out,
Mm,
and I'm the sensitive one, so, believe it or not, that'll get my feelings hurt. Now my sister be like, you're sitting here, you're saying this and you're doing that, but you see nobody saying anything to you. You see, but that's just me. That's just who I am. So I have to do it so nobody can say it was never done.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that's the part for me. I don't know. How do we fix it?
That is the catch 22, right? When and for those you all who may not necessarily understand, you are definitely getting a good sense of a tiny bit, I want to say a tiny bit of Black culture on display, but
Hmm.
the principle of family is still
Mhm.
applicable globally across all platforms in this regards too,
Yes.
because when Kim just talked about something, and I remember hearing it this morning because I was in James, the book of James, and I'm not about to preach you. I'm about to give you a principle. I'm
Hmm.
about to give you a principle, giving you a principle, right? Um, you said how do you deal with that? Because when you're led or you feel the unction, right, to do something and to reach out, you
Hmm.
know,
Right.
people can take advantage of that because they know, oh, well, so and so is going to reach out because they
Hmm.
always do, always.
Exactly.
I had a buddy,
Comfortable.
yeah, I had a buddy of mine um, who I had called, right? They called me at an hour that they normally don't call me, right?
Hmm.
It was late. So I'm like,
Hmm.
this person don't call me this time. So I pick up the phone and I'm like, hey, everything good? They say, oh yeah, man, I'm just good. I'm about to go to this basketball thing. I'm like,
Hmm.
at nine something at night, you about to go play some basketball? So why'd you call? They say, well, you said I could call anytime. I said I did. I said, but you don't normally call at this time. He said, oh yeah, but you just
Right.
reliable. I said,
Okay.
I said, oh, I see. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm reliable, but when I'm trying to reach out to you, you don't answer the phone. It's not that type of a sense of it's not
Wow.
mutual, it's not reciprocal.
Right.
And because you know that I'm
Exactly.
consistent, because I'm consistent, I have to be consistent
Hmm.
in order for me to do the things I'm doing in life. It requires discipline and consistency.
Yes.
So you see the reliability because I
Hmm.
say what I'm going to do. I do my very best to keep my word, and everybody who's around
Hmm.
me has felt that in some capacity. So I looked at that and I
Right.
said, oh, I see. So you think that because I'm
Mm.
reliable, I'm just going to always be accessible to you.
Right.
And so I had
Hmm.
to I had to take
Hmm.
a step back in that because it's like, you know what? I don't. I'm not going to judge. I don't command or demand, but you just showed me a truth that I needed to see.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he
Because
spoke his truth.
Mhm.
yep, and it's like the
Yeah.
late Maya Angelou said it best. It's like when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Or she said, if somebody
Yes.
Believe
tells you
them.
who they are, believe them, right? And I said, okay, so you
Yeah.
just you
Yes.
just showed me you, and I needed to see that. So I started putting
Mm-hmm.
parameters in place and boundaries in
Mhm.
place,
Mm-hmm.
and he kept showing himself. I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, and I really care for this person because we've been through a lot of stuff together with both of us losing our jobs from the same company and stuff like that, and
Mhm.
and working to help each other get back on each
Right.
other's feet. He's a father. He has, he's a father. He's married, so he's taking care of his family and all this stuff like that. So, but then I realized, I said, this might sound harsh, but this is love isn't always pleasant, right?
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for him
Mm-hmm.
taking care of his family. He laid in that bed and made
Correct.
that family. So that's his
Mhm.
responsibility as a husband and as a father, right?
Yeah.
And it's not my responsibility to
True.
make sure that he does what he needs to do to provide for his family. I can help, but when does helping become more of a burden, then it
Yeah.
becomes a blessing, right?
True.
And so I had to realize that that was not my responsibility. So I can't be little God to this man who needs to go and
Mhm.
figure that out for himself. Um,
Mhm.
and I can't
Mm-hmm.
be the crutch that enables either,
Right.
right? Because a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
people will see you as a resource and an asset instead of a
Mhm.
friendship. And
Yeah.
you will either become their asset or their liability. So I was like, I
Mm.
ain't gonna be on nobody's will if I ain't getting no inheritance.
Come
Say it
on.
again.
So and I said
Come
that
on.
I said that to say it's like, when do you draw the line? Yeah, I love God, but I'm not religious, I'm relational. Okay.
Mhm.
And there's a big
Mm.
difference. There's a big difference. And so it's like James in James, I think it's the third chapter, I was listening to it. It said mercy covers judgment.
Mhm.
And so sometimes mercy is
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
pulling back and letting go.
Mm-hmm.
Because
That's the
Yeah.
boundaries.
yeah. And so, and people say, well, that's not Christian. Like I said, well, when you start practicing, why don't you give me your cliff notes?
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Just let me know. I'll read it. I will. Because
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it's like going back to what you said, Miss Mika, uh, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first if that plane is going down
Exactly.
before you can help
Yeah.
somebody else. That's not
Exactly.
selfishness.
Yes.
We can't both be dying.
And they tell you that
Come
when you're
on.
on the plane, you put yours on before you put it on the
Mm-hmm.
child.
There's a reason why, because if y'all both choking, ain't nobody gonna make it, you know?
Exactly.
Right.
So that's powerful.